Be willing to show up for yourself at any given circumstance. I don't care what it is that may have happened or what it is that may be going on. It is really important that you show up for yourself at any given situation. What that does is it builds resilience for you. It builds thicker skin, so to say. It builds tolerance. It builds the emotional, the emotional strength that you need to get through said situations, right? These situations could be tough and it could be hard to want to push through it and get through it. But it's important that you be willing to show up for yourself, because by you showing up for yourself, that means that you would just get better and better at dealing with things and knowing how to handle things in a logical way. It's very easy to get emotional and react emotionally and not really think things through, especially in the thick of things, when things are really, you like, I don't know what the fuck is going on, it's, it can be hard, right? But you constantly showing up for yourself, it triumphs everything. It does you a real big favor to constantly show up for yourself, because no matter what's thrown in your way or what fake fire, and I'm gonna say yes, a fake fire, no matter what fake fire started, where it started, you know how to navigate through it. You're not going crazy, oh fire, oh, you're not doing that. You know how to logically think about things, and you know how to come up with solutions, and you know how to make a plan A, a plan B, and possibly a plan C if you need to do that. But with you constantly showing up for yourself and, showing up and be willing to get through whatever adversity, situation that it is that you're facing, it really does helps you, and it builds a lot within you. And it does push you forward. It does, because it's easy to not want to deal with things and to run away and deflect. A lot of people, they turn away. They turn away from dealing with certain things, and it's like you can't really do that. You have to learn how to get through it, because if you don't, it will repeat itself, and it will keep repeating until you actually learn how to get through it. So it's always a really, really, really big favor when you do that and you really know how to show up for yourself, because like I said, no matter what happened or what is placed on your path, whatever the case may be, you know how to get through it. Granted, some things may be a little bit more tougher to get through, but you found your way. Because at one point you didn't know how to get through anything, right? You probably panicked, you probably cried about it, you probably vented about it to 50 people. No telling. Now you know how to handle things with more grace. You know how to give yourself more grace. You don't beat yourself up for what it is that may be happening. Some things are just genuinely out of your control. That's life will life. And you have to find a way to get through it without losing your mind or letting yourself go or going insane, or you have to be really strong mentally. I'm just going to be honest with you. And there's ways that you can strengthen that on how to be strong. I'm going to give you some tips. Your number one tip is to always give yourself grace. Never be too hard on yourself. We are here. We are humans. We are having a human experience. It's really nothing worth for you to really beat yourself up about. People make mistakes. People move on every day. Number two, always, 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 I don't care what the situation may be. I don't care who you heard, what, talked to what you read, what you looked at. I don't care what it may be. Always keep your life going in other areas that you have to take care of. Rather this be parenting, rather this be you a business owner, rather this be you work a job and you have to show up, rather this be you going to school, whatever it may be. Always be willing to show up in other areas of your life. I don't care how hard. You know, you could be going through a tough time at work, and you know, it's a coworker that don't like you for whatever reason, and it's very petty, and it's just a real back and forth thing every time you go to work. You still have to show up in those other areas of your life that's not work, meaning family, like I said, school, or whatever ventures that you know you have going on. You still have to show up for those parts of your life. So it's also about knowing how to still show up, you know, to face whatever it is that you have to face while still being, you know, proactive and doing what you need to do in other areas of your life, because you can't really let that one you can't let that one criteria or that one area throw the whole thing off. You still got to have a game plan. You still have to show up. You really have to just show up, you know. And I'm just going to be honest, you know, people care, but sometimes people don't. And you got to really know how to push through that. So I'm not saying, you know, keep everything to yourself because people are not going to care. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying you have to really know how to, it takes strength to still show up when you got every reason not to show up. You got to push through. You have to push through. If you have to pray, if you have to journal, sleeping is okay. I wouldn't, you know, for me, it just, you know, I don't know. It seems like it could just make you more, you need to get up, get active, do something, you know. Yeah. So another way how you can constantly show up for yourself is to take care of how you look. When you look good, you feel good. I know it may sound crazy. You know, I got this going on. I got this going on. How could I really even think about looking any type of way? You have to. You still have to show up. That goes back to number two. You still got to be willing to show up in other areas of your life. People who you see walking around looking like bums, yeah, they probably had something going on and they said, fuck it, they don't care. People will treat you how you look as well. People will treat you how you look. You have to really be willing to put that effort into how you look and how you carry yourself, even when you are going through something. I'm sorry. I know, you know, it be like that. It'd be like that. Number 4, you can always try outsourcing. Outsourcing, okay, you don't feel like doing laundry, hire somebody to do it, or take it to the laundromat, let them do it, come back and get it. You know, you don't want to clean up, you going through something, hire a cleaning service to come through and clean up. Be willing to outsource when you don't feel like it, because that goes back to giving yourself grace. Always be willing to outsource if you can, you know, if you can afford it. If you can't afford it, I don't know, you know, I'm sure you will figure that out, but always try to do that as well. That's why those services exist, so people can use them. And yes, you as well, even just you, if you have a house, an apartment, you can still use it. It's still available to you 100%. So I'm going to go to number 5 on how you can want to constantly show up for yourself, is to know that seasons don't last forever. Seasons are just that. They are seasons. They don't last forever. You know, new seasons come about. So never be so hard on yourself, and don't think that life or your life is horrible because you are going through this season where you haven't fully yet, you know, you have to, this is why I say you got to give yourself grace, because you haven't fully yet got, you know, the concept on how to navigate your way through. You could be learning how to navigate your way through. You probably could have came a long way already. You probably used to vent to people about certain things, and now you don't. You kind of just, you know, do what you got to do and feel the chorus and navigate your best way through. But yes, that's what it will take. It will take for you to have to, you know, be able to learn how to do that. Like I said, it works wonders. It will be a service for you to do that, to learn how to do that. Yeah. Sometimes we can panic and freak out because we don't really know what's happening or what's going to be down the road. But that's where faith come into play, babe. You gotta have faith. I'm just being honest. It's all up here. Everything starts up here. You have to know. You have to know. You have to know. You have to know that you are going to be okay. You have to know, whatever it is, you have to know these things. But while you knowing that these things are going to be, you do have to put in the footwork to kind of get yourself there. But all in all, like I said, a season is just that. It's a season. It doesn't last forever. So I think that's something that we can learn. So those are the tips that I have for how you can constantly show up for yourself. Like I said, you got to be willing to. That way when certain bigger things come facing you that you need to deal with, you know how to get through it. You got to take care of the small stuff first to get to the big stuff. It's levels. It's levels. I'm telling you, the more you learn how to do these things, the better off you would get, the better off you would be. You may not, like I said, you probably don't vent to nobody no more as you used to. It's given that you don't really vent as much as you used to anymore, and that's a good start. That's a start. You know what? I'm going to add a sixth one on now. The sixth one I want to add, be willing to celebrate yourself. This is my last one. I don't care what it is. This could, of course, go for birthdays, but also this mainly pertains to small achievements. These could be small achievement that you only know about. A goal that you hit. Okay, I'm gonna get up at 6 or 5 or 7 every morning for the whole week. If you made it to Friday and you did that, do something for yourself. Celebrate. I don't care. It could be as simple as buying a candle. It could be as simple as buying a mug, a coffee mug if you drink coffee, or whatever small little things that you may like. Hell, it could be just getting your car washed. Be willing to reward yourself, because that, babe, will keep you going. I am so serious. Always be willing to reward yourself. I don't care how small you think it may be. I rewarded myself last year. Or was it this year? I'm sorry. This year I rewarded myself and I took a trip. I sure did. I took a trip a few days away, and I bask in it. I just enjoyed myself. To be willing to to be able to just get away like that, it does help you. It makes you want to do more. So always be willing to celebrate yourself, whatever you do. Don't just achieve something and say, okay, well, that's it, on to the next thing. No, celebrate yourself. You have a reason to. You deserve it. You deserve it. You did it. You deserve it. Give yourself props. Big yourself up. But that's really all I wanted to say. I hope y'all take them tips. I hope that worked for you. If I said something that you like the video, comment, tell me what you think. Subscribe to the channel, because I got way more that I want to share with y'all. Okay? Have a good one. I'll talk to you later.